Om Shanti, continued from part 7, Shiva and the destruction of the world. Some days later, Dada went to another locale on business, and he took the opportunity to stop over with a friend. He was walking through the grounds of the friend's palatial residence when he suddenly remembered a spot where he used to come to practice devotion. Sitting there now among the groves of trees, Dada let the cool breeze touch his face, and he again became detached from worldly matters. He was remembering God, and once again he felt himself becoming light, leaving his body far behind. He understood that his previous experiences were not flukes, not mere flashes, which would cease and leave him as he was before. Rather, a seed had been planted and it was continually growing inside of him. He was being ingeniously prepared through a series of successively deeper revelations to receive the full truth, the absolute knowledge of Supreme God, to receive the total shattering impact of truth and life. Dada gave himself up to the gentle master whom he knew was guiding him to this final realization. Dada remained for some time in this place, and every day he went to sit there among the trees and think about God. And he would have new revelations on every occasion, divine experiences of many varieties, pieces of a fantastic jigsaw puzzle which he knew it was his task to put together. Deeper and deeper Dada sailed, outward bound on the ocean of knowledge. During this time, Dada wrote a number of extraordinary letters home, from which it was evident that something amazing, something unprecedented was happening to him. Either he was going mad, or was it possible? He was actually receiving revelations from God. B.K. Brijendraji writes about this period. Dada wrote in one of his letters, "There is an abundance of wealth. Abundance of wealth, I'm trying to get it. In the next letter he wrote, "Got the key. I got it. In this manner he wrote 5 letters to us. During those days, Dada received such divine experiences that his letters seemed to vibrate in our hands. We could feel his exalted condition. In the end, he wrote, "Whatever was to be attained, I have got. Now, what remains to be achieved?" Finally, the day came. Dada received a double revelation by which the jigsaw puzzle fell into place. First, a vision of Jyotirlingam, Shiva Paramatma, that is, the Supreme Soul, whose eternal form is a point of light. And then, a terrifying vision of the destruction of the modern world. The vision of Shiva clinched his understanding of his own identity. The Supreme Soul, a point of light. His children are made in his image. Thus, all of us are truly just such tiny forms, sparks of conscient light. Only we, the children, take bodies and play out our roles on the stage of the physical world, while Shiva remains in his eternal form. And by taking birth and rebirth, we forget ourselves, while Shiva knows the entire cosmic play. He watches us, life after life. The souls decline, their energies decrease, and they begin to act viciously towards one another. Then, before the end, he comes to lift his children to perfection once again. But what kind of end is it which is about to come? And what a sort of new beginning Dada witnessed in his vision? The destruction. He saw that very powerful bombs had been manufactured and were being fixed. There was a war between America and Russia. He saw guided missiles with warheads of such devastating potency that whole regions of the earth were burnt up in a moment. Gigantic fireballs, cities in flames, unbearable storms of fire were raging everywhere. Dada understood that these were the same weapons used 5,000 years ago in the great Mahabharata war, which are described in the ancient scriptures as fire arrows, brahmastras, and musals, and that this same war was about to be reenacted. Dada saw that by this war, Europe and America would be entirely destroyed. When he received this vision, America had not yet dropped the first atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Russia and the US were then friendly countries, and Germany and Japan were united against them. But in the vision which God presented to him, it was clear that these two countries would be enemies, and the world war which they would start would be the last. For there would be no one left even to bury the dead. A world of corpses, silence on the face of the waters. As a result of this destruction, the souls who became so suddenly disembodied would fly upward in their millions like a swarm of fireflies in the cosmic night, upward to the soul world, the supreme abode. Only a tiny handful of people would remain alive on earth. Dada saw that only had the population of Europe, Russia and America had been devastated, but that destruction had also struck in China, Africa, India, the Middle East. In those areas, death came slower through wars and civil wars, culminating in an awesome wave of natural catastrophes, floods and tidal waves, earthquakes of unbelievable magnitudes, volcanoes erupting, storms of every kind wreaking havoc on the scared face of the earth. Dada began to tremble uncontrollably upon witnessing the scenes of this great world-wide destruction. Humans and animals were running wildly about, trying to save their lives, to escape from the jaws of death. But there was no escape. The fire devoured them all, and now great rains were pouring down. Waves of rushing water filled the streets, covering the houses. Somewhere, buildings toppled in a tremor. Vast cuts opened up in the ground. The people were swallowed up by the angry earth. On all sides the uproar was shattering. The wail of pain and horror, the rivers of blood and pus, the panic and the desperation, and then the final death, the silent aftermath. Dada, who had never in his life shed a tear, was weeping now. "Oh, please stop this, please stop this," he cried. "What a terrible destruction. Please, now show me your other side, your beautiful form." To be continued tomorrow. Om Shanti.